Hello and welcome to Throne Kingdom. Here in Throne Kingdom, I will be dissecting and taking apart this manga that I am reading, Fairy Tail. I've watched all the anime and enjoyed it deeply, and since they are picking it up next year, in 2018, I've decided that I'm going to go through all this manga and see if I can finish it before then. So this is my review for the first issue. Overall, I was very happy with it. It was almost perfectly identical to the first episode of the anime, although it opened up with the council instead of Natsu on the train, and they complained a little bit about the kingdom, and naturally they complained about Fairy Tail. So I'm glad that it did move on to the train scene immediately after that, and I don't know what I think of the graphics on Happy. I mean, it's far different. It's the biggest difference in graphics between the anime and the manga, in my opinion, from what I've seen just in this first issue. And I'm not overly happy with the way Happy looks, gonna be honest. We got Lucy in the shop, and got the Salamander character, he was another character who was different in this, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But, we got them eating together, that whole scene. And then we moved on and got to see more of this salamander pretender guy, and he convinced Lucy to meet him on the ship. Now later, Natsu got wind of the fact that he was acting as if he were part of Fairy Tail. Natsu wasn't familiar with him, and this was a slander to their name because of how his behavior was. So it moved over to the ship, and we saw a scene where this is the biggest difference in character development from my notice, is the fact that this salamander guy, whatever his name was, it was like Boris or something like that. He actually was into slavery. Whereas in the anime, they later confirmed that he was just looking for model actresses or something like that. Something ridiculous. But, you got a sense that it should have been slavery. In the manga, I'm kind of glad to see that he's legitimately a bad guy who was actually getting slaves. And it feels a little more natural to me than the anime's reasoning on it was. I've also noticed the manga is a little bit more free with their words. They'll say words the anime wouldn't have dared to do, and I'm a fan of that. I loved this whole scene with Natsu on the ship almost as much as I loved it in the anime, because they did so good with it. And there are a couple things I might have even liked more than the anime, so we'll get into that. We got the Aquarius, as she washed everything on the shore, which also cured Natsu of his motion sickness. And second Natsu's cured of his motion sickness, we get this. And I kind of like this scene more because he's not standing in all this destruction. It feels a little bit more real. And you see these guys, and Natsu just shoves one guy's face into another guy's face out of the way. And he's all, "So you're from Fairy Tail, huh? Because I've never seen you before." And, it gives that awesome feeling as you see that emblem on his arm. And I was very happy with that. And then moving on to how he eats fire in the manga, the animation is quite different, because in the anime, I don't know how many of you have really noticed this or remember, but he would suck in the fire, and it looked almost like he was inhaling it. Whereas in the manga, it is very clear he is eating this, like he is shoving it into his mouth, enjoying it, and eating it. And they did that a couple times in the anime, but I'm not seeing any of him sucking it in like he did in the anime. So I kind of like this look to it. And it feels a little bit more intimidating because you can't really see him through the fire that he's just eating. He did his roar, and then again, I'm so happy with the art for the most part. Like I said, there's Happy, and I have a little bit of an issue there, but it's definitely not going to stop me from enjoying this manga. And this stuff like this makes me very happy to see this mass destruction that Natsu's causing, and the art is very pleasing. Then we get this little punch scene of Natsu just hammering his face into the ground, And another thing that I just love, we didn't quite see this in the anime because he punched him and like he flew through the city and hit the bell, and it was kind of humorous. Whereas this just feels awesome. He's punching Boris's face into the ground, and you know that's gonna inflict more damage, and it just gives this very serious, like, this is over vibe. You know, there's no getting back up from that. Um, then you know the royal army comes around, and we've got that scene where Natsu's like, crap, we gotta run, and he grabs Lucy, and they're running off, and Lucy's like, what are we doing? And he's like, well, you said you wanted to join Fairy Tail, right? And man, I loved reading this manga. It reminded me of the first episode of the anime, and I loved that. I loved all the anime, and you know, after finishing the anime, it goes through that little reminder of all that's happened in it, and reading the manga right now just feels right. It feels like something that needs to happen, and eventually they get back to Fairy Tail, and unlimited excitement awaits beyond this door. Welcome to Fairy Tail. Man, am I excited to read this manga, and it's got me hooked. I am pumped. At first I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it because, you know, I've already watched all the anime up to 2014, and that covers a large chunk of the manga. So I thought, you know, this is gonna feel a little repetitive. I might feel a little burdened doing this. This does not feel like a burden. I'm enjoying this so much, and I'm really pleased with this. I do hope. I know that the drawings change throughout the series, and I don't know exactly how that goes with Happy, but man, I hope it doesn't take too long because he looks so much different, and it looks a little bit. I don't know. I liked the anime looked Happy more, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there aren't many colored pictures I'll be using in these videos, but that's because it wasn't much colored in the manga. But for now, this has been Throne and Throne Kingdom, and unlimited excitement awaits. So let's look forward to going to the next episode. This chapter, this issue of Fairy Tail, on rating out of 10, I'm probably gonna give it probably an 8.5. An 8.5. The only reason I didn't give it a higher score is because of Happy, and it had a little bit more of the Magic Council in it, and you know, I wasn't a huge fan of that. And in the end here, we have the Magic Council talking, and you know, it was just kind of like Jalal touching on how without them the world would be boring, and he's right, it would be. But I feel like that was a little bit too much of a narrative for the episode. We didn't need this narrating it. The episode speaks for itself. So at the same time, this didn't drag it down too much, so it still gets an 8.5, which in my opinion is an amazing score. We'll move on through this series, and for now, I've got nothing else to say about this. So this has been my review for Chapter 1 of the manga, and hopefully I'll get to my review of Chapter 2 soon enough. So I hope you enjoyed, and please leave in the comments if you want me to use a face cam or not. You know, I don't have the best face. I'm not going to pretend I look good or anything, but I'll try to look somewhat decent for the videos. So, you know, just leave in the comments what I should do. Or if you have any other ideas for my videos, I'm open to suggestions. So please just leave them in the comments, leave a like, and subscribe. See you next time in Throne Kingdom.